Hi, I am Lilith Corayag, and these are Jaime Cuadrado and Cherilyn Sumaoy. Do you have any thoughts about Marxism?
Karl Marx founded Marxism, a social, political, and economic theory that focuses on struggle between capitalists and the working class. He argued that the power dynamics between capitalists and workers were inherently exploitative, resulting in class conflict. He predicted that the conflict would eventually lead to a revolution in which the working class would overthrow the capitalist class and seize control of the economy. Every society, according to Marx, is divided into social classes. Marx's class theory depicts capitalism as one step in historical progression of economic systems that naturally follow one another. He argued that they are driven by vast impersonal forces of history that manifest themselves through social class behavior and conflict.
Marx outlines the now famous superstructure account of social and historical development. Classical Marxism. Classical Marxism is the body of theory directly articulated by Karl Marx and Friedrich Engels. The term is frequently used to differentiate between Marxism in general and what Marx believed. His theory does not mean that the ideas of the ruling class are simply imposed to subordinate classes. A ruling class is compelled to represent its interest as a common interest of all members of society. Next is Althusserianism. Louis Althusser was a Marxist philosopher. His arguments were a response to multiple threats of the ideological foundations of communism. He is also widely known as a theorist of ideology. His essay establishes the concept of ideology, also based on Gramsci's theory of hegemony. Whereas hegemony is ultimately determined entirely by political forces, ideology draws a Freud's and Lacan's concepts of the unconscious and mirror phase respectively, and describes the structures and systems that allow us to meaningfully have a concept of the self.
Next is hegemony. Antonio Gramsci's hegemony refers to the mechanisms and dynamics that describe how a specific group comes to organize its role at multiple levels, including political, economic, social, cultural, and linguistic. Different interpretations of Gramscian hegemony, as mediated by different traditions within the discipline, have resulted in competing and evolving definitions. All of these approaches share a tendency to prioritize consent over coercion, leadership over domination, and civil society over the state. Lastly, post-Marxism and cultural studies. Bauman investigates these intertwined, overlapping, contentious, and contested claims and orientations of post-Marxism and cultural studies. It contends that, while cultural studies and post-Marxism appear to be distinct entities, they actually share a project that of confronting the political. Post-Marxism claims to have developed a theory of political strategy, whereas cultural studies claims to be both practical and political. Through considerations of key aspects of cultural studies and cultural theory, post-Marxism argues that the very thing that is fundamental to both of these politicized approaches actually remains frustrated and unrealized as a direct result of the way this has been approached.
And those are the important points about Marxism. Once again, these are Lilith Corayag, Jaime Cuadrado, and Cherilyn Sumaoy.